I like to think of the quotation mark as the punctuation that can save your job or save your grade in the class. And that's because we use a quotation mark to attribute ideas and words to the original speaker. So you use a quotation mark to show that someone else has said something, either verbally or they've written it on the page. And if you don't use the quotation mark when you are duplicating someone's work, it's what we call plagiarism. We definitely want to avoid that. Grammatically speaking, punctuating the quotation mark can be a little bit tricky, so I'll show you a few examples. Quotation marks often take two forms. We'll either lead with the quotation and give the attribution at the end of the sentence, or we'll lead with the attribution and end with the quotation. So here's an example of how to punctuate a sentence where we lead with the quotation. We have, "It's a lovely day, Jim said." Well, in this case, notice that we start with the quotation mark, we capitalize the first word, and we keep the comma inside of the quotation mark. In other words, we tuck the punctuation inside of those quotes. And then we give the attribution, Jim said, and the period doesn't come until the very end of the sentence. Now in this sentence, we've flipped the order and we're starting with the attribution. So we say, Jim said, we capitalize J because it's the beginning of the sentence. And this time we put the comma after said, and then we launch into the quote. So Jim said, comma, quotation mark, capital, "It's a lovely day," period, quotation mark. Can be a little tricky because sometimes the comma goes inside of the quotation, sometimes it goes outside, and it depends on how you're setting your sentence up. So let's say that it's such a nice day out that Jim tells his coworkers he's sick and he gets out of the office for the day. Well, I might say something like, Jim said he was feeling sick, but we're skeptical. So you can see that this has taken on a different form because we're only quoting a small part of something that Jim said, not a complete sentence. And we're tucking it into our sentence so that even without the quotation marks, it would read well. It would read as a complete sentence. Jim said he was feeling sick, but we're skeptical. So in this case, you can put the quotations around his partial quote, and you don't have to capitalize the first word of his quote. So I hope that this makes using quotation marks a little bit clearer for you.